Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. And those that are new, welcome. Salud. That's what my Italian people say. Modelo Especial dethrones Bud Light as America's #1 selling beer after 22 years. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. As boycotting boozers turned backs on Bud Light over disastrous Dylan Mulvaney tie-up. Now, Dylan Mulvaney, it's cosplay. It really is. I need you to go on YouTube here and look up the Dylan Mulvaney on The Price is Right. He was a contestant once. Did you see his reactions when he won? The guy's just a performer. A crappy one, but he's still just a performer. Modelo Especial is top Bud Light as the king of American beers after the Dylan Mulvaney backlash. The brewery recorded $333 million in sales in 4 weeks ending May 8th, compared to Bud's $297 million. Bud Light's parent company, Anheuser-Busch, has seen market cap value plummet $27 billion following the disastrous team-up. Those are the people that bought Anheuser-Busch stock, or whatever their parent company is, are not amused. How is it possible? I mean, you saw the interviews with the VP of marketing, or whatever she was, that was explaining why they did the Dylan Mulvaney thing. And this isn't anti-trans. It's not. It's just dumb business. Now, I had a convenience store for 22 years in upstate New York, and I sold a lot of beer out of there. In fact, the local Anheuser-Busch Bud distributor I've known almost my whole life, and I feel bad for those guys. I really do, because it's not their fault. It's a family-owned business, and many of the people that work there are family members. I don't know how it's affected them, but this is the way it goes. It's not their fault. It's Anheuser-Busch, not the distributors. I'm not telling people not to boycott Bud Light. I think this is outstanding. And the same thing is happening to Target. And they're going through them all. They're finally using the progressive left's tactics against them. It's about time. In fact, that calls for another round of applause. And don't stop. You think that you've got it won? This is just the beginning salvo. Let's read on. Anheuser-Busch, the parent company of Bud Light, and Modelo Especial has seen market cap plummet $27 billion following the disastrous transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney's marketing. It was the first time since 2001 that Bud Light has not been in the top spot, dethroning its sister brand Budweiser, the king of beers, title in 2001. Now, that is Anheuser-Busch's as well. So, but it's not the sales, really. It's the stock price. And their worth on paper as Anheuser-Busch is worth $27 billion less. Let that sink in. Bill Newlands, the CEO of Modelo Especial's owners, Constellation Brands, said the increase in sales had happened quicker than they anticipated. Yeah, it takes a while to brew beer. I'm not sure how long, but it takes several weeks, if not a couple of months. So we'll see if they can keep up with the demand. We thought we would take a little longer. We've been very fortunate that's gone a little quicker than we anticipated. But what a great position to be on the beer side. Yeah, of course. Of course. Look like a hero. U.S. sales of Modelo are controlled by rival Constellation Brands and do not count as part of Anheuser-Busch's InBev's global volume as part of the antitrust settlement. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Anheuser-Busch and Constellation not immediately respond to requests for comment. According to consultancy, the Bumps Williams Consulting, Modelo Especial sales were almost $342 million, and you can see Bud's is just under $300 million. However, long-term trends show that Bud Light remains the top-selling beer in the U.S. just so far this year. Bud Light sales count for 9% of the total market in 2023, while Modelo has 8%. this isn't really about Modelo and who's ahead and who's behind. This is about, there's Mulvaney. It's amazing how the millions he's got. You know what? You got it. You know, what are you going to do? And here's a commercial. He's drinking Bud Light in his bathtub in a bubble bath or something. I don't know. What a huge blunder. Huge blunder. And then Target and many other companies are following in their footsteps. What's that old expression? Look, somebody screws up really badly, and then you say, well, hold my beer. Let me see if I can do it worse. It's amazing to me. Amazing. Is this anti-gay or lesbian no, it's not. In fact, the LGB period, that's all there should be. Trans and the things they're doing in schools to children, drag shows that are just outrageous for kids. If they didn't involve children in schools, teaching this stuff and doing the drag shows and putting it in children's movies and cartoons and television shows, nobody would care. It's when they started showing this, starting to change impressionable young minds, that people got pissed. What part don't they get? I don't care what you do in your bedroom in the privacy of your own home or anybody else's. It's none of my business. Just keep the kids away from it. That's all there was. What a huge blunder. And, of course, the average Democrat walking around, I do have to say, doesn't go along with this, but the DNC, the National Democratic Committee, does go along with it. In fact, they're doubling down. This is what's happened to your party and Democrats. I'm a former Democrat. I used to be a local elected official in the early 2000s. Now, I've left the party over 10 years ago. And I'll just slowly scroll through here, get an idea. Coors Light went up 26%, while Miller Lite went up 23%. When I used to drink, haven't drank in over 30 years, but I used to drink Miller Lite Draft quite often. For some reason, an Anheuser-Busch product used to give me a headache. It's the damnedest thing. And Yuengling, which is pretty good beer too, saw the biggest increase at 36%. Well, good for them. Good for them. There are times the bottom has been hit for Bud Light, and the company could see a turnaround in performance, according to a consulting monthly industry report. Anheuser-Busch said earlier this month it would triple its marketing spending in the U.S. this summer as it tries to boost ailing sales. Now, you see a picture there. There was a picture, I think it was in Walmart, where they had a $19.99 price tag on the beer. It might have been a case. This is an 18-pack. And there was a coupon for a rebate for $19.99. So I think it ended up costing the people a penny once they put in the coupon and the rebate. I mean, look at this, this is their advertising. And they spent a crap ton of money and gave this guy a crap ton of money. I never expected to have people following me or experience this negative media attention. I walk in a room and I never know if somebody's going to really love me or really hate me. This is Dylan Mulvaney. What do you expect? He's a grifter anyway. He's a cosplayer like Borat. It's the way it is. Mulvaney said he had no regrets about chronicling her transition for the whole world to see or her Bud Light post, but is considering turning down a notch. Yeah, well, of course, you already get your payday. I don't know if the game Trivial Pursuit is still around, but 5 years from now, you'll be on a Trivial Pursuit card. No one will remember your name, but that money will still be in your bank account. I don't regret any of the things that I posted, but I want to make sure my transition for me is for me now. I'm telling you, it's a scam. That's just my personal opinion. It's kind of like redefining a relationship. When it gets too personal or gets too hands-on, it can be hard to scale back. You getting a lot of grief. Yeah, of course you are. You're probably getting some death threats too, which is really stupid and ridiculous, and you shouldn't do that. And nobody should come after you personally. I do not condone violence. But you got your payday. You got what you wanted. You are world famous and now have millions of dollars in the bank. So there you have it, folks. those of you out there that don't approve of a lot of the things the corporations do, for a long time what happened was corporations could do outrageous and say outrageous things to support the progressive left. And conservative people, they're not boycott people. They go, well, yeah, whatever, you know. But they finally wised up. They finally wised up and said, you know what? We're not putting up with this nonsense anymore. And good for them. And don't let it stop. Everybody's saying, well, you know, you shouldn't be telling them what to carry in their stores like Target and what to produce. Nonsense. Like I said, I had a convenience store for 22 years. And people used to ask me, how do you determine what you sell here? And I said, it's not up to me. It's up to the people that come into my store and buy things. I don't spend any money here. My customers do. And I try to bring in what I can at a decent price to the people with what they want. That's not, one guy called it terrorism. It's ridiculous. They're not terrorizing any corporation. You do something they don't like, you sell a product they don't like a brand that took billions of dollars over the years in advertising, Bud Light. And in less than 90 days, they flushed it down the toilet. It's amazing to me. And these people that are in marketing and VP of marketings in these big corporations make a boatload of money. Oh, well, people are finally saying enough is enough. I'm not against gay. I'm not against lesbians. I'm not against trans people. I'm not against any of that. People just don't want it shoved down their throats, especially beer. Then what Target's doing and the others, I don't get it. Maybe finally all these progressive leftists have finally hit their 30s, and now they're in all these marketing and corporation firms, and now they're pushing the boundaries. Well, it'll come back to bite them in the ass. So people, don't let up. I'm not saying destroy companies out of revenge or hate, but when they start doing things that start hurting people, especially children, you got to say enough is enough. So that's the story on that, and we'll see. I'm sure Anheuser-Busch will survive, and I'm sure their stock will eventually go back up. But an important lesson is learned for all the other corporations, especially retail, consumers like beer and food and everything else, department stores like Target. They're finally saying, you know what? We've been kowtowing to a very small percent of just incredibly outrageous activists. And the other 98% of the people didn't pay attention. Well, they're paying attention now. It's about time you paid attention. Until the next time, goodbye and good luck.